Welcome to Pennsylvania in Focus. I'm Kristen Smith. Heading into the Memorial Day weekend and also pushing a dramatic funding expansion, Governor Josh Shapiro embarked on a family RV trip to promote Pennsylvania's new tourism brand. Anthony, will you tell us more about what this trip is about?
I would be delighted to. Yeah, so this is sort of the kickoff here of rebranding Pennsylvania as the Great American Getaway. Governor Shapiro, his administration in recent months, they've been really trying to push tourism, outdoor recreation as something that's been coming up again and again. And this is looking ahead to in 2026 as Philadelphia prepares to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. This is really gearing up to sell Pennsylvania as a vacation spot, as a state that's full of anything you could possibly want to see. You know, you can find the sublime in Pennsylvania, which is, of course, clear to anyone who lives here. But Shapiro is kind of targeting the 74 million Americans who live within a 4-hour drive of the Commonwealth. So this is, he kicked this off in a big old RV. His family will travel for about a week, hitting, they say, 50 stops in 14 counties. And he kicked this off up in Northeast Pennsylvania at the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders Baseball Stadium.
So do you have any insight onto where exactly he's going other than Philadelphia? And doesn't this kind of tie into more of his broader economic strategy as far as how to make Pennsylvania a more inviting and prosperous place?
Yeah, so, we've seen him announce, he's either been to or will be at Philadelphia earlier this week. I believe on Wednesday, he was out in Lancaster throwing out the first pitch at a minor league baseball game. He'll be out in Pittsburgh. So we'll see where else it goes. But yeah, this kind of plugs into the broader strategy here when he argued that, his administration is making tourism a top priority. It's a central part of their economic development strategy, which also feeds into other things like agriculture, advanced manufacturing, et cetera, et cetera. This is really trying to basically get people to give Pennsylvania another look, or if you haven't tried for a while, see what's really happening here. And there's this push to create, seasonal jobs from tourism. People generally understand that. But there are also arguing that lifelong careers also come out of this, and the state has not put in enough investments in marketing the state. This is a common refrain where he talks about other states like Ohio and New York putting more money or more efforts into these sorts of things. So he's making the argument that boosting investment in tourism and selling Pennsylvania to other Americans, if he throws in his budget a proposed $18 million increase, that would be a 60% boost to state tourism efforts. So whether we'll see that, translate into more tourists and more economic growth in that sector, that remains to be seen. But Pennsylvania has a ton of different things coming up in the next couple of years from, the World Cup will be here in 2026. Major League Baseball's All-Star Game will also be here, and the NFL Draft, among other, civic events and other events statewide that will be happening.
Is there any sense of what this RV trip is costing, however, because I'm assuming that it's taxpayer money that's funding it?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm currently waiting to get a records request back from the governor's office about how much the RV costs, the fuel costs, because these things, are not the most fuel efficient things on the road out there. Yeah, it's not yet clear. They haven't released any details on how much this new tourism rebranding will run. They had Abby Jacobson actually do the voiceover for the new tourism video, which if you're a millennial, you will know her from the New York-focused sitcom Broad City. But spinning details on this still remain to be seen.
Anthony, thanks for joining us today. Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com.
Knowledge is power, and you deserve to know what happens in your state government. That's why the Center Square's reporting zeroes in on state authorities publishing stories that show where your money goes and who spends it. The Center Square gives power to the taxpayer by tracking politicians' use of the people's money and demanding transparency from state-run agencies. This is how the Center Square equips you, the American taxpayer, to hold your state government accountable. Sign up now for your state's Center Square newsletter at thecentersquare.com.